Deion Sanders, quarterback, Florida State.
Prime time's coming to Atlanta, huh?
I want everybody at the airport. I want everybody in Atlanta there.
Prime time.
Deion said, "I'm not cocky. I'm confident. There's a difference." That's Deion Sanders in his prime. A man who didn't just play sports, he transformed them into pure entertainment. But before he became prime time, before the gold chains and touchdown celebrations, before he became the only athlete to play in both a Super Bowl and World Series, Deion Sanders was just a kid from Fort Myers, Florida, with a dream bigger than his circumstances. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible journey of how Deion Lewin Sanders went from shining bright as a young athlete to becoming the most electrifying performer in sports history. This is the story of primetime. Deion Lewin Sanders was born on August 9, 1967 in Fort Myers, Florida. Raised primarily by his mother, Connie Sanders, in a single-parent household, young Deion learned early that if he wanted something, he'd have to work for it. His mother worked multiple jobs to keep the family afloat, and sports became both an escape and a pathway to something greater. But here's what most people don't know. Deion wasn't just naturally gifted. Yes, he had incredible speed and athleticism, but what set him apart was his mind. Even as a child, he understood the power of confidence and showmanship. His mother later recalled how he would practice not just his athletic moves, but also his celebrations and his swagger in front of the mirror. At North Fort Myers High School, Deion was a three-sport superstar: football, baseball, and basketball. But it wasn't just his performance that caught attention. It was his personality. He had this magnetic presence that made everyone stop and watch. His high school football coach, Ron Hoover, remembers Deion telling him, "Coach, I'm going to be famous one day. I'm going to be on television, and everyone's going to know my name." Most teenagers say things like that. The difference with Deion? He actually had a plan. Florida State University became the launching pad for the Deion Sanders legend. Coach Bobby Bowden saw something special in this young man from Fort Myers. Not just athletic ability, but a rare combination of talent and charisma that couldn't be taught. At FSU, Deion played football, baseball, and even ran track. But it was on the football field where he really began to shine. As a cornerback, he was shut down personified. Opposing coaches would literally avoid throwing to his side of the field. In his junior year, he had 5 interceptions and returned 2 for touchdowns. But stats only tell part of the story. This is where prime time was truly born. Deion realized that being great wasn't enough. You had to be memorable. He started developing his signature celebrations, his high stepping, his trash talk. Some people called it showboating. Deion called it marketing. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good, became his philosophy. And it worked. During his time at FSU, Deion also excelled in baseball, batting .331 in his final season. Professional scouts from both the NFL and MLB were taking notice. But perhaps most importantly, this is when Deion began to understand his own brand. He wasn't just an athlete, he was an entertainer. The nickname Primetime actually came from his FSU teammate, who said Deion always showed up when it mattered most, in prime time. The name stuck, and so did the persona. In 1989, Deion made a decision that would change sports forever. He declared for both the NFL and MLB drafts. The New York Yankees selected him in the 30th round, and the Atlanta Falcons picked him 5th overall in the NFL draft. But here's the kicker. He decided to play both sports professionally. People said it was impossible. Traditional sports wisdom said you had to choose one sport and dedicate everything to it. Deion said, "Watch me." His rookie season with the Falcons was spectacular. He returned a punt 68 yards for a touchdown, had 5 interceptions, and immediately became one of the most feared defensive backs in the league. But it wasn't just his play, it was his presence. He brought a level of personality and flair that the NFL had never seen. The gold chains, the high stepping, the celebrations, everything was calculated. Deion understood that in the entertainment business, and make no mistake, professional sports is entertainment, you need to give people something to remember. Now, with the Yankees, he struggled initially, but showed flashes of his incredible speed and athleticism. The media couldn't get enough of him. Here was an athlete who could shut down the best receivers in the NFL on Sunday and then steal bases in Yankee Stadium on Tuesday. The 1990s belonged to Deion Sanders. After his time in Atlanta, he signed with the San Francisco 49ers in 1994, and that's when everything clicked. Playing alongside Jerry Rice and Steve Young, Deion helped lead the 49ers to a Super Bowl victory, intercepting a pass in the NFC Championship game that sealed their trip to the big game. But the real magic happened in 1995 when he signed with the Dallas Cowboys. This wasn't just a signing, it was a cultural event. The Cowboys were known as America's team, and Deion was the perfect fit for their flashy, high-profile style. In his first season with Dallas, Deion helped lead them to another Super Bowl victory. He was now a two-time Super Bowl champion, and his confidence was at an all-time high. The celebrations got bigger, the personality got louder, and the performances got better. Meanwhile, he was still playing baseball. In 1995, he actually played in a baseball game and then flew to a football game on the same day. The man was literally living in two sports simultaneously and thriving in both. This is when the primetime persona reached its peak. The rap album, the music videos, the television appearances. Deion Sanders wasn't just an athlete anymore. He was a brand, a lifestyle, a cultural phenomenon. What many people don't understand about Deion Sanders is that everything he did was intentional. The showmanship, the confidence, the celebrations. It wasn't ego, it was strategy. He understood that in order to transcend sports, you had to be more than just good at your sport. Deion paved the way for athlete self-promotion decades before social media existed. He showed that athletes could control their own narrative, build their own brand, and become bigger than the games they played. His influence extended far beyond the field. Young athletes today who celebrate touchdowns, who build personal brands, who understand the entertainment value of sports, they're all following the blueprint that Deion Sanders created. But perhaps most importantly, Deion proved that confidence isn't arrogance if you can back it up. He talked the talk and walked the walk. In a world where athletes are often told to be humble and quiet, Deion showed that there's power in believing in yourself and letting the world know it. Today, as the head coach at the University of Colorado, Deion is still primetime. He's brought that same energy, that same confidence, and that same ability to captivate audiences to coaching. His recruitment videos, his press conferences, his approach to building a program, it's all vintage primetime. Deion Sanders didn't just shine, he blazed. He took his natural talents and amplified them with an understanding of performance, entertainment, and self-belief that was revolutionary for his time. From that young kid practicing celebrations in front of a mirror in Fort Myers to becoming one of the most recognizable athletes in the world, Deion Sanders showed us that greatness isn't just about what you do, it's about how you do it. Primetime wasn't just a nickname, it was a philosophy, a way of approaching life with confidence, style, and an unshakable belief that you belong on the biggest stage. The next time someone tells you to tone it down, to be humble, to not stand out, remember Deion Sanders. Remember that sometimes the world needs you to shine as bright as you can. Because when you're truly great, primetime isn't just when you play, it's who you are. Deion famously said, "If you don't believe in yourself, why should anyone else?" Now, what's your favorite primetime moment? Drop it in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe for more incredible athlete stories that change the game forever.